Here we are right back again. This is Legacy of Leaders, and I'm your host, Jamar Suber. And as you know, I talk to amazing entrepreneurs and executives who push us to go higher. And today I'm with Hillary Vistovsky of SAMMY. Tell us what SAMMY is, Hillary.
SAMMY is a holistic, comprehensive technology solution for the asset management and trading industry. So mortgage, real estate.
Yeah. Listen, we had a chance to talk, and I love how you found your lane in this particular industry. Do two things. Tell us what the industry is and how you found it.
All right, so the technology is for the secondary mortgage market, which is when banks or investors trade and manage their mortgages, their notes. And there's a whole lot of things that go along with that. There's bankruptcies, foreclosures, construction, if you're doing renovations and it's turned into REO asset. And it's the technologies for them to manage those assets, every person that touches their asset, every process that is about their asset, and as also trade and within a technology. So everybody comes together in one technology. And how I never thought I would be the founder and CEO of a technology company. And so how I came to this point in my life is back in 2007, I, like everybody else, I had a family, I worked a corporate job, and I was like, there's got to be more to life than this. And so back in 2007, if you remember, the real estate industry crashed. And there was a bunch of infomercials on TV. It's like, oh, buy tax sale properties for pennies on the dollar. You know, enjoying this webinar for $5,000. And I'm like, well, I didn't have $5,000, so I'm going to go buy a book. So I bought a book. And I bought my first tax sale home for $4,800. I cashed out my measly 401k, which was about that much. And went and bought my first little $30,000 home for $4,800. And I will never, ever forget that day. I was like, oh. And I was hooked. That was it. That was all she wrote.
That did it for you.
Yep. So I still had to work a corporate job. That was my first rental. It came with renters in it that hadn't paid rent for 5 years because the lady had died that owned it, and that's why I was on the tax sale. So they stayed as renters until the day they died. And we sold the house in 2018. But that started it. And like everybody else that starts in this industry, I had to work a corporate job. You know, I was the breadwinner. I had 4 children, babies. And so after the corporate job, night and weekends, I was renovating. And vetting properties and, you know, just starting my portfolio. And I founded, 2 real estate investment firms, a renovations company. I hold my master's in engineering and construction because I love everything in construction. I also hold managing broker's license. I love this industry. So fast forward, before I started SAMMY in 2013, I went to work for a friend of a friend who had a law firm, and it was in title curative, so fixing the title defects for mortgages for big banks. And he wanted to start a hedge fund. And so I was one of the 3 that started the hedge fund, Rocktop Partners, and built it from inception to $5 billion, 26,000 assets under management, 70% non-performing, and 90% title defective. So, and in doing all that, I played every role. I knew everybody's job. I shadowed everybody's job because I was Miss Fix-It. It's like if something didn't work or somebody didn't know how to do something, they called on me. And about 3 years in, we were like, okay, something's not right here. You know, we need you to go look at this. And so I started going on the ground and meeting with contractors, looking at our properties, seeing, what's going on. And I've uncovered a lot of stuff that I didn't like. But the biggest thing was I realized that we didn't have full transparency on our assets because we didn't have a technology. And a technology didn't exist. So I built a prototype, did the proof of concept, and I was like, okay, this works. Like, as a personal investor, I was like, I don't like losing money and I don't like leaving money on the table. And, if you are managing your assets using multiple systems and manual spreadsheets and processes, I guarantee you you're losing money. You're losing money by leaving money on the table, or you're bleeding in expenses. Because along with that comes, okay, one of the biggest vendors in when you have notes and mortgages is the servicer. They're the ones that collect the payments from the borrowers, or if they don't pay, they're the ones sending out the communications and stuff. Well, if you don't dig into the delegated authority that they have, it just, you lose sight, and your expenses go like this and your profit goes like this.
Wow. You know, one thing I can say is we definitely haven't had enough time for this interview. We haven't gotten to the book. We have so much more to cover. But let's do this as we wrap up. Okay. I'm quite sure there's a young man, young woman where you were years ago, who the light bulb has come on and they said, I have to do something. How important was that moment for you to act? Some people are just stuck and don't
Changed
act.
the direction of my life.
Yeah.
And that one thing, that one thing right there changed my whole direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I sit here today with, hey, now I'm like, technology company, I'm like, whoa, I never saw this happening.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll definitely have to have you back on.
Okay.
I look forward to continuing this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you
out.
for having me on.
If you want to learn more about Hillary and Sammy, please log on to dailynewsnetwork.com. I'm your host, Jamar Suber, and you've just watched Legacy of Leaders.